Hey, how are you today? It is so good to be here. I am going to also try to go live over on Instagram. I've never done that before with this software, but it seems like it's going to work. So good deal. All right. I'm going to also get off Wi-Fi on my phone, so hopefully it doesn't lag too much. And if you're watching this portion of the video, I'm assuming you're watching the replay. So if you missed last week, I wanted to tell you to also check out last week's video where we hand lettered this live and created this project that turned out so cute. And we also did a devotion on it. So be sure to check that out over on YouTube. You can catch the replay, or if you're on Facebook, then you can look back at that as well. Hey, Susie, it's so good to have you here. Let me see about y'all. I am vertical today. My streaming software has a new feature. I don't know if y'all use StreamYard. I absolutely love it, but now we can go live vertical, and I just noticed that right before I went live. So today looks a little different, and I'm so excited about it because most people are watching on their phones. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Haley. Yay. Oh, I'm so excited to hear that. So Haley said she's going to place an order soon, and that's a good segue for me to tell you that our hem boards are back in stock. Let me grab one. I brought one to show y'all. If you are new here, one of my most favorite things, and the thing about this page that really made it take off, was our love of the hems. And we take the hem sheet, and I hand letter over the top of them. And these wooden boards are all handmade by my dad. And we just have the best time getting these to y'all. This is what the audience has come to know and love from us. And so finally, my dad is back from surgery and able to work again. So he's very excited to be back at it. And these are back in stock. So if you go to imperfectdust.com, you can see if your favorite title is there, and they are ready for you. I know that Christmas, a lot of you wanted to gift them for Christmas and couldn't. And I'm so sorry about that. But they're back if you want to give a late Christmas gift or just gift yourself. So today I'm going to take your questions. If you have any, then please ask them. But while I am waiting on questions to come in, if there are any, then I'm going to work on this custom order that I have to do anyway. And this is going to be a sign that my aunt is actually getting me to make for her to give as a wedding gift. And it is going to have their last name on it. The wedding is past. She was waiting on my dad to get done with surgery too, and like recover all the way. So you'll notice when I put the date at the bottom, you're going to think, well, that wedding's already happened. But we're going to do a last name. I'm going to do the Dugdales all the way across here, and then the established date. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Melanie. So good to see y'all. Let me see too over here on Instagram if there's any comments. I don't know if they flow through this same thing on here or not. Let's see. Sorry. I think that they would all be connected because like I see Susie's commenting from YouTube, and then like Elizabeth, you're over on Facebook. So if there were Instagram comments, I'm going to assume they'd come through there too. Let's see. Yeah. All right, let's do this. I'm going to hand letter over here. I'm going to do the last name first and then put the. So this is going to be a real simple sign, and I hand letter it first in pencil where I'm just going to freehand. Hey, Kathy. I know. So if you have a workbook order in right now, it will ship tomorrow. I have got a whole I have 200 workbooks showing up tomorrow, and I am like chomping at the bit for them to get here. So it will get to you soon. I am so sorry for the delay. So Susie made the comment that she likes the finish on this, and I wanted to show y'all. It started out just stained wood, and then this is just a dry brush technique. I didn't sand this at all. I just took a brush and lightly went over it. So that's a very easy finish to do if you don't have an electric sander. Just dry brush it and leave a little bit of that stain showing through, and it'll look more rustic. So that is always an easy trick to just get it done. Okay, let's get to lettering. So I'm going to have V in the middle, and then I'm just going to start up here, come down, and then come across. This is going to say Dugdales. And then I'm probably going to have my G come down like that. Can y'all see that? D. And then I like to say right now, I'm just drawing the bones of the letters. And then in a minute with my paint pen, I'm going to come in and add the body. Oh, hey, Shirley. So good to see you. I'm glad you caught me live. D-A. And I'm going to, let's see. D-A-L-E-S. Does anybody else, I will say when I first started making signs, I made the mistake of the apostrophe, like adding in that apostrophe when it wasn't necessary. So I'm going to put the right here. Come across. And go like that. So does that bother y'all? I know, I mean, it would be incorrect. Oh, yay, Connie, you found a poem for a baby gift. When I did that, my writing ran. Should I have Mod Podged and then written? Okay, let's see. I'm trying to, and then Mod Podged it to the wood. What kind of ink did you use? Yeah, so if y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in, and I'm going to just finish out these bones. Okay, so Connie, let me think on this. I would say, okay, I don't use Mod Podge. Let me say that. I use polyacrylic or polyacrylic. I think it's polyacrylic, though. It's in a blue can, and it's from Lowe's. And so I don't use the Mod Podge. And so I'm wondering if the polyacrylic could help. But then I'm wondering what ink you use, because I would use paint. So just let me know on that. Hey, Sandy, I'm glad you're here too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and letter establish, but I'm just going to do E-S. And then, like I said, their wedding has already passed. So it is 12. It was, I wrote it down so I wouldn't get it wrong. 2023. Okay. I'm going to hold it out. So another hint or tip is whenever you get done, hold it out and get your sit, like look at it and say, okay, is that good and centered enough? And I'm not about perfection. I don't measure exacts from side to side or anything like that. This is imperfect dust, okay? I mean, if it looked super whoppy jawed, I would of course, erase and go back. But I'm not about like getting it exact. Okay, so let's see. So Susie has a tip. She says for Connie, if she used a Tombow pen as opposed to a Posca paint pen, it will run. And the reason I'm repeating these comments is because some of you are watching on different platforms. Susie's commenting over on YouTube, and I can see her comment, but Connie commented on Facebook. So I'm reading her comment to you, Connie. If she used a Tombow pen as opposed to a Posca paint pen, it will run. Tombow isn't permanent. Ask me how I know. And she put a bunch of laughing faces. So thank you for that, Susie. I would agree. It definitely needs to be a paint base. Connie never commented back on what she used, so I'm not sure yet. And then Stacy says, what are your writing tools like for the beginner's handbook? I'd love a quick sneak peek because you mentioned there are 5 different lettering styles. I'd love to see what they look like. I can do that for y'all real quick. We'll get back to this in just a moment because my book's right here. So this will be a quick thing to show. So the workbook has multiple, I'm going to get a little bit closer. It has multiple alphabets. So she's mentioned 5. There is, and if you are interested in the workbook, comment workbook, and I'll send you a link to your messenger, and you'll get a link to the workbook if you want to get one of your own. But okay, so lowercase 1, I'm going to show you how it works. Well, first you start off with uppercase 1. There's a lot of instruction before you get to the alphabet, but you'll have your uppercase 1, and all of these are very similar. By the way, uppercase 1 is going to be the easiest one, and it's very simple, you know, very easy to do. And then you'll have a lowercase alphabet that matches that. So they'll go together. So then the lowercase 1, oh, and by the way, after your uppercase practicing letter by letter, you'll get this that you can trace over, plus this where you can look at the letter and then try to mimic it yourself. I say go for it. Like now you've done all this practice. Just look at that letter and try to mimic it with all the instructions that you've had. And then you get the lowercase one that goes with it. And same thing. It's like a repeat, but in that lettering format. Okay, then it'll hop to uppercase 2. Look, that's a little more complicated, but it's step by step. There's arrows that give you every bit of instruction that you need. But now you have this uppercase 2. Let's go to lowercase 2 and see there's the G that matches that G. So you get 10 alphabets in all, but 5 different styles. So then you have uppercase 3. Okay, I'm just giving you the G for reference to show you lowercase 3. So this is your sneak peek. So there's the G that goes with that one. So you have a lot of different styles to choose from because, oh, Melissa. She said fangirl. Oh my gosh. Hey, Melissa. But anyway, you have lowercase and uppercase, and it is going to be, there's going to be a style in here that you like. So no worries. If you get the book, you're going to find something that you're like, oh, this one I can work with. And you can mix and match them too. The thing I love about modern calligraphy is there's very little rules, except what is the number one rule? If you've been following me for a while, you want thicker downstrokes and thinner upstrokes. That's what we're working on. And the reason that I teach the method that is in this book, if you are new here, this is not traditional calligraphy. This is what we call faux calligraphy. I teach it in my online hand lettering class and in this workbook because it is the way that I had to learn for hand lettering on these signs. That's how my business got started. I was hand lettering chalkboards and signs for people. And then I had like a little booth at a local marketplace. And paint pens are what we call mono weight. So there's no brush tip. So we have to do this method for bigger projects like signs. And I have a mirror that someone dropped off the other day for me to hand letter on the mirror. And so we have to use paint pens for that. And I want to teach you how to do what I do because this has been such a blessing in my life, like learning how to hand letter. People will start asking you to do projects for them. And you might want to make a little side money for your family. That's how my business got started. I wanted to help us get out of student loan debt. So if this is something that you think that you could do, I mean, I know I can't serve everybody, right? Like I don't know all the people you know. So I would love for you to learn how to letter from me and then serve the people in your realm of influence. So how fun would that be to do the workbook or my online hand lettering class? It's all visual instruction. It's all video, and you can watch, rewind, do it all in a weekend and learn this skill. So I take you through step by step in it too. The workbook is independent from the online class, but they really pair well together. Okay, Laura said she got her book and taught herself in 2 nights. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Laura. I'm so excited. Let me know if you do any projects. Like I just love for people to learn it, to sell something, and then feel that little bit of confidence. Because y'all, I look back at my old stuff. I'm going to talk letter while I talk. I look back at my old stuff and think, how in the world did someone buy that? But the reason why is because I don't know. I didn't think of it. Oh, that's like really far away. I didn't think of it like, I don't know. I just went for it. Just go for it. If you love to letter, and like if you find that you like it, go for it. Post it. See if other people are interested. Let them just know that you letter. And I'm telling you, people will say, "Ooh, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?" You would not believe the amount of stuff that people have come up with for me to hand letter on. I've hand lettered on a deer thing before that somebody got it at Hobby Lobby, and it was like a deer, and they wanted welcome on the side of the deer's back. Like I'm telling you, people will find something for you to letter on. It's hilarious. Okay, look, let's see. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Okay, Alberta, Canada here. Actually caught you live. Not sure how long I can stay. Oh, hey, Anne. I'm so happy that you're here. What white paint pen do you recommend for glass? So the same brand, Posca. This is, look, y'all. If you comment, look, I've got some keywords set up for y'all to make this easier. If you comment resources, you'll get a link to a page on my website that has these paint pens linked. These are my favorites now. I used to use this brand, and I still do use it some. You can get this at Walmart, but this is a good brand too. I get these like at Walmart, you can buy these individually, and then these I buy by the pack. So it seems like these are more expensive, but if you break it down per paint pen, it's about the same. Okay, let's see. Oh, Lyra, I'm so happy you ordered the book. Let's see. Okay, I was seeing if there's any more questions that I need to respond to. Keep them coming if you have any, and I'm going to keep lettering. All right, my favorite thing to do with a TH connection is to bring it around like that and make the T and the H connect together. I think that's so fun. Let's see. And see, I'm just going over those pencil marks that I made as a guideline and covering them up. Can y'all hear when my AC turns off and on again? I saw Posca at the Shreveport Walmart for the first time last week. I know Walmart did start getting them. I noticed that the other day and I was so excited. They're a smaller pack than that one that I just showed, but that makes it more accessible, because here's the thing. I'm the type, I will hop out on a whim and go buy paint pens, and I don't always remember to grab some from Amazon. And so instead of waiting on them to come in, I like to grab them when I'm on a grocery run. So let's see. Okay, good. Lori, thank you for telling me that, because it's loud for me, but I'm like, I hope that's not distracting. And like to where I feel like I have to yell at y'all because it comes on. All right. And there we go. And if you're interested in the visual, like the video class, you can comment beginner for that one. That one is, it's like 7 different modules where we walk through all the alphabet, connecting words, some difficult lettering connections, and then hand lettering layouts, like laying out your phrases, how to do that. I call it a brainstorming session where we brainstorm how to lay everything out. Sorry, that scrapey noise gets on my nerves too. The video goes into, like, I think of a phrase and then I tell you my process of deciding how to lay it out. Okay, someone says, can you just get black or white Poscas only, or only the color bundle? I want to say somebody messaged me the other day. If y'all use Posca, feel free to answer that. Somebody messaged me the other day and said they found an all black, but I have not found that. So I don't know. Okay, let's see. My dad does make these boards. So look, y'all, he handmade this. It is very much a blessing to work alongside him. He also hand makes all of our hem boards. He takes them down. This starts out as a huge sheet of plywood, like 8-foot plywood, and he cuts them all down, bevels them. Like, y'all see that bevel on there? Oh, like these things are a labor of love. He bevels them, stains them, paints them, distresses them with the electric sander. And then we have to, and I've shown all this before on the page. So a lot of you that have been around a while have seen it. We spray he has like a spray gun where we spray paint them. We used to hand paint them, but the spray does make it go faster. And then, so he paints them white and then distresses them. You sand them, stain them, sand them, paint them, then sand them again to distress them. So they're a process. But see, look, I know that not everybody has a daddy to help them. So you can get blanks from Hobby Lobby if you're more into wanting to, sell what you make or just do a project for your house. Then you can get those blank signs from Hobby Lobby. They put them on sale. And okay, Susie says Amazon does sell black and white packs of these. And you can have very similar signs to these that my dad makes. These like stained frame white background. You can find those at Hobby Lobby. Now, the only thing about those, I want to say this. See how this is not bleeding? Hobby Lobby ones will bleed. Like, they run. My paint will run. Because somebody has brought me one before. This is what's funny. So if you're ever thinking about selling stuff, here's another thing. So people have brought me those from Hobby Lobby and said, like, can you write on this for me? Because they think that it'll be cheaper for me to do it because I'm not having to provide the board. But here's what I want to say to them. And I would say it to you. Like, I would rather charge you less and use what my dad makes, because the Hobby Lobby ones, you have to seal them first or they're going to bleed. Jennifer, if you're still on here, do you run it? Have you ever ran into that? Like, the paint just, I don't know. I guess that wood is not treated or something. I don't know what the deal is with that. So just be aware that your paint will bleed on that. Seal it with a clear coat first, and there should be no issue. But this is just flat white Valspar paint, if anybody's wondering that. Yes, Becky, it is a big part before I get to lettering. Do you use Posca or Posca fine or medium? This is a medium tip. It depends on the project. So with a big project like this, I'm going to use medium because it's going to make it go by faster. I mean, fine would work. It's just a process. Okay, I'm going to focus real quick because I'm going so slow considering that I'm talking so much. I'm so happy y'all are here. Let's see. We've got, I don't know if it's live over on Instagram or not, because I set it up, but I don't know. I'm so sorry if y'all are over there saying anything and I don't see it. Oh, well. I'll find out afterwards if I have a bunch of comments I never responded to. Okay. Again, the goal is those thicker downstrokes. So I am working to thicken that up. So see, this is a definite upstroke, downstroke. Now I'm going to come across. Y'all are helping me kill two birds with one stone. I was like, I'm going to go live today, but I knew I had to letter this anyway. Oh, hey, Andy. Okay, Jennifer said I either paint mine first or seal them. Yeah, you did. Okay, Debbie says the ones from Hobby Lobby are not real wood. They are particle board type. So that is good to know that you do need to seal it. Otherwise, it's just going to make you mad, because if you pencil everything out and you get really excited to letter on it and then everything looks runny and janky, that is so annoying. So definitely put a clear coat. You could probably use that polyacrylic that I mentioned earlier, or just a clear coat of paint so that you can letter on top of that and it won't run everywhere. Okay, I'm coming over the bones, and then I retrace in a new place on that downstroke. This is what I teach in my class. You just retrace in a new place. The biggest thing that I see people do that I would give them a tip on is to spread out their lettering, because when you come in to add that thickness, see, if I would have put this G and D too close together, I wouldn't have the space to add in that downstroke thickness. So I'm going to come back over the bones, but then on this downstroke, I'm going to come right beside it. And what we're doing is just mimicking the look of calligraphy. So this is why I said before I teach this method in the book, is because your paint pens, that's what you got to do. You don't have that brush pen, but we're mimicking that we never picked up our pen like they do in calligraphy. Because if you don't know anything about calligraphy, the amount of pressure you apply on the way down with a brush pen is how you get that thick line. And so since we don't have that with these, we have to create it. So I'm coming up. All right. And then I'm going to leave this alone because I don't want to run into problems with my hand. And I'm going to start the D. And then I will hit this whenever I get probably done with all of it. But yeah, my aunt ordered this. She said, hey, I know your dad, it's her brother. She said, I know that he's, not working right now, but put my order in for as soon as he gets ready. So he just got this blank ready. So he has a big shop at his house because he used to do carpenter work and things like that before he worked with me. And so God had that totally worked out to where he's set up over at his shop. He does all the woodworking over there. And then he brings me the blanks here and I can, letter them here. Okay, I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see it better. I'm going to come down on the bones, up, and then come back. You want there to be a nice transition too. You want it to come down and go into the upstroke so that it doesn't look so obvious. You don't want this, okay? See how that, well, you probably can't see it too good. But you don't want to just like have, let's see. I put it in the book, like a do this, not that. You want a nice transition. So you go back up into that upstroke to smooth it out. So I'm going to come down. There you go. And then that just makes it not look so obvious that we are faking it, like doing the faux calligraphy method. Okay. On a personal note, curious to what you would charge for a sign like this. Okay. I don't remember what I charge my aunt because she gets these from me ever so often. But my aunt is my aunt, so I don't think I charge her what I would charge anybody. Okay, so let me see. I wonder how big this one is. So I'm going to show y'all how big this is. I would say, how about, let me do this. What would you charge for something like this? And the reason why I say that is there's a difference too in online. This is going to be super heavy to ship. Like these are thick boards. This is very heavy. And I'm going to add the hooks on the back. So this sign, I would say probably, okay, I'll give you mine. What would you charge? Or what would you expect to pay? Let me say that. What would you expect to pay? And I won't look at y'all's answers. I would probably charge 45 to 50. I don't know. Is that too much, too little? Y'all give me your opinion. I'm not great at saying the boards cost this, whatever. Like, I'm not great at that. We buy our wood in bulk. And then my dad also uses a lot of scrap wood every now and then. Like, even for this one, I will tell y'all, he said, don't charge anything on my, like, don't even pay me because this is his sister. And he's like, I had some extra wood around. So you can always use scrap stuff. And if you sand it up good, make it look good. He's like, just charge her for whatever you would to write on it. And I'm like, no, Daddy, I'm paying you too. Okay, so Bella said she would charge, Susie said she would charge 75 plus shipping. Nilka said 45 to 50 is good. Donna was going to say 50. I mean, the fact that it's custom, I think 45 to 50 for sure. Definitely no lower than that. And then, you have to think about the time. Now, I am taking a lot longer because I'm talking with y'all. But your time in it, your talent, it's not even necessarily your time. Because now that I'm a little bit better at lettering than I used to be, I might get this sign done faster than I used to, but it doesn't mean that it's any less valuable. That is one thing that I have come to love about being in the online space and selling things online, that it's not the same as like your time. I've gotten a little thick on that, so I'm going to come and make that a little thicker. So if you ever feel like, ooh, my upstroke got a little thicker than it should have, add some thickness to your downstroke to balance it out. You want to keep a good balance. But I love my job because it's not like I don't trade time for money anymore. It's not, like getting paid by the hour for stuff. But anyway, that's a total side note. Okay, let's see. I'm going to come down. We're getting there, y'all, with all my talking. Okay, what other questions do y'all have? Yeah, Becky has a very good point. She said that the price can also depend on the area that you live in. So I do think if you, like, let's say you're wanting to get into this, you want to get into selling weddings, that you can charge good for, because people, I'm not saying take advantage of, but wedding signs cost a lot. And this is not a wedding sign per se. It's more like, it's a custom wedding gift, but I'm talking about like, welcome to the wedding of. So the mirror that I'm going to work on this week, I'm charging $45 to write on a mirror, and I'm going to record it. I'll show it to y'all. I've written on them before. Every mirror that you have seen me write on, on my reels and on my video, like things that I've posted in the past, I charged $45. So that will help too if you okay, Jennifer says 65 to 75. So definitely just make sure you cover your cost and what you decide that you want to charge for your time and talent. Okay. I'm going to come around. S's always give, well, when I'm doing in-person hand lettering classes, S's kind of give people trouble. So I just come down on this curved downstroke and keep going until it looks balanced. You're going to come, some people ask, do I go to the right side or to the left side? Well, you're just going to keep going on both sides and make it look balanced. A lot of it is practice and eyeballing it. Practice and then taking a step back and asking yourself, okay, does that look good and balanced? Because if you are doing a project, make sure you look at it from a distance, because people aren't going to be right up on it when they see it in your house either. Okay, now I can come finish this G off. Okay, come up. And around. Oh, I'm loving it. I love when I have something that goes below the baseline that I can kind of flourish with. I think that's so fun. Okay. Teresa said, when I letter, my letters all look bold no matter how hard I try. This is what I'm going to challenge you to do. Whatever, like, look back on something that you've lettered and say, I'm going to draw it bigger. And remember, we're drawing, not writing. I say that in my class multiple times. This is not handwriting. If you have terrible handwriting, it is not indicative of terrible hand lettering. It's just not the same thing. It's like wearing two different outfits. It's like you've got a fancy outfit versus a lounging outfit like I have on. Like you have hand lettering and handwriting, two totally different things. And then redraw, not rewrite, redraw whatever it was that you say all ended up bold, bigger, spread it out. Let me show this one page. If you've been here a minute, you know that I showed this a good bit. But the biggest thing I say on here is space it out. We want to give yourself enough space in between all these letters so that when you come in and you add it, you have definite, look, defined difference. There's a defined difference between the up and the down. So lettering is an art like drawing shapes, Jennifer said. That is so true. And then going back to the question, or not question, but me talking about right side or left side, where you bold in is going to depend on the bones of your letter. So if you draw your E like this, or this, okay, this is page 37 if y'all have the book, then you're going to add thickness here on this left side for this one because it has a small loop. If you're going to do this one, you have like a medium-sized loop, you're going to do the left and the right. And over here, if you have a large loop, you're going to close up that loop by going to the right side. But notice in the long run, they all end up looking similar because the goal is just balancing out that thickness. So try again, Teresa. I would love to see a before and after. Like if you do one and then you do that same word in another way, bigger, more stretched out. That's a good way to put it. Stretch it out versus space it out. Okay, now I'm going to come in with this established. It's going to be a pretty quick one. We're going to just do an EST. Another rule to throw out the window whenever you start handwriting rule to throw out the window is picking up your pen. In school, we're taught don't pick up your pen when you're writing in cursive. We're not writing in cursive. We are hand lettering. So you're going to pick up your pen when it feels natural to stop. Anytime you have an up kick in your lettering, then you can let up. And especially with paint pens, you're going to want to come in letter by letter when you're using the paint pen because paint is wet and you don't want to get it all over everything. So, okay, established. And then, something else I teach in my online class. I don't know if I said this earlier, but if you're interested in that class, you can comment beginner and there will be a link sent to that one too. But in the online class, I teach numbers Numbers are not in the book. I'm sorry about that. But I teach numbers, banners, what else? I forget. Because, okay, you do scripture references, right? Like you've got scripture references, you've got dates. So I go through print. Oh, print letters. That's another thing that's not in the book that the class does have, print letters. Because I like to mix things up. On this sign, I didn't, but you could do a mix of print and the lettering. I'm doing this one with dashes. You could put periods, but I'm keeping this consistent with a picture that my aunt sent me. So that is why I'm using dashes, but I also like using little periods or like dots, decimals, I don't know, whatever you call them, that part. Oh, I know what I can show you. The project from last week, which, by the way, if you missed last week, we did a Bible study and it was awesome. If you're new here, we talk about Jesus a lot on this page, and this was a sign all about Jesus. But there's where you would do mixed. So you have print and hand lettering. Well, they're both hand lettering, but modern calligraphy. So hand lettering is very much like more than just this style. Hand lettering encompasses block letters and print letters and all that. So you'll get a little more of that in the online class. Okay, we're almost done. But see on this 0, I'm doing that same method where I just come down on the left side because that was my downstroke. And even here, I can add some thickness to this too right there. And this is where you really want to make sure you're keeping things balanced by eyeballing it. I'm going to take a lean back and look. And then here. And because this is, like a wedding gift, I am doing it a little bit of curved too, like a little more scripty. And then this 3, do like this. And again, I'm just going to come in on the downstroke both ways, on both sides. Okay, there we go. Let's see. I'm going to hold it up so y'all can see from a distance, like I'm saying. Oh, yay. Okay. So that was just me penciling, freehanding the bones, and then coming in on those downstrokes and bringing it to life. So that's what I like to say. We start with some bones, and then we put the body on it, and we bring that hand lettering to life. So Bonnie, you're a beginner. I hope that you enjoy the class. A link should be sent to you. If not now, it should be there soon. And then let's see. Teresa loves it. Yay. Okay. Do y'all have any more questions for me? I have a little bit more time. I don't know. I mean, it can be, how about this? It could be hand lettering. It could be, let me do this. I will also, hey, Tracy, let me see. I'm going to do just this, just me. How about that? And we will go, if there's any questions. So it doesn't even have to be hand lettering related. Do y'all have any questions about the business or just, I don't know. Whatever. So I got a few more minutes before I have to go. I had so much fun lettering on this, and now I get to text my aunt and tell her, hey, it's ready. So what marker, Shelby? I was using this Posca paint pen. Get it where you can read it. If you comment resources, if you want the link to these exact pens, comment resources. And the link to my website, it has this pen linked. It has this Tombow pen linked. These are my favorite for the workbook. I'm not in the frame. There we go. I need you to get these if you have the workbook. This is going to be your best friend. I could show y'all that too. Oh, thank you. Okay, show the Bible study pic again, Eva said. So this is what we did last week. And if you missed it, we talked about Jesus's first cry, tearing the silence. And the silence was that God had not spoken to his people in around 400 years. From the close of the Old Testament to the beginning of the New Testament, there was a 400-year silence. And so when Jesus came on the scene, when he was born, his first cry tore the silence. And then his second cry, we talked about, and I read scripture to go along with these, that his second cry tore the veil. And the veil was the curtain in the tabernacle that separated the people from God. God's presence dwelled in the most holy place, and he was considered behind the veil in there with the mercy seat, where only the high priest could go behind the curtain to atone for the sins of the people. But then when Jesus was on the cross and he cried out and gave up his spirit, right after that, it says that the veil in the temple tore from top to bottom. And that is a symbol of whenever Jesus died for our sins, he made a way for us to have access to God. So we talked about his second cry tearing the veil. So now we have perfect communion with God through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. And then his final cry will tear open the sky. I read scripture about how Jesus is coming again. And his final cry will be a cry of coming to get his people and crying out to call us back to him. So let's see. Sierra says, do you sell your signs? If so, how much? So right now, I am not like selling custom orders like what I did today. This was for my aunt. I used to take a lot of online custom orders, but what we do sell online is our love for the hymns. These little, they're like 7 by 10 in size. And on these, if you comment shop, or just go to imperfectdust.com, but comment shop and you'll get a link to shop all of the artwork that we do have, because I sell these wood signs, I sell art prints and stickers, t-shirts, things like that have my hand lettering on them. But a custom sign, it's not that I won't do it, but you have to like email me, and you can do all that. You can email me if you want to. And I don't mind doing a custom sign. It's just, I have to, check the shipping cost. So if you want to do something like that, when you email me, it's Danielle@imperfectdust.com. But when you do that, make sure you give me your zip code. That way I can check on the shipping cost for the weight of the sign and tell me what size you want it to be. Because there's just a little back and forth on that. Like, how big would you want it to be? What would you want it to say? And all those things go into account when it comes to like pricing it. Let's see. I have a workbook, Donna says, and the Tombow pens. They are fine point. Was that what I was supposed to get? Yes. They're actually called hard tip. Look, I'm trying to show y'all in the webcam, and it's not up anymore. But we've got this. It's like a little, let me show it to you. Let me do it in the book so that y'all can see what paint and what markers work best together. So I use, like for a sign like this, I'm always going to use either the Posca paint pen or this painter's brand that I showed y'all from Walmart. It is still a good brand. I'm not against it. I just changed because the Poscas, to me, the paint flows better in the Poscas. But when it comes to the background, we always use Lowe's. Now this is for white. We're pretty basic around here. We do black and whites. It's, thankfully that's what's popular, like the neutral, like you see up here. But we use Lowe's. I'll post it. Let me show y'all. I got it on a, sorry, I know I said I was going to show the book, and then I got another question that popped in. So I will show you that real quick. I've got it saved. My dad sent me a picture because this is what he does. He, like, if I'm in Ruston, which Ruston is like the town next to me, and it has a Lowe's in it. And so he'll text me a picture and be like, pick this paint up, because he's always scared I'm going to get it wrong. Okay, this was the latest picture. He said, pick up some of this stuff because plastic wood is like a filler. And so if you have holes in your wood, it's great to like fill it in, and then you can paint over it. And then sometimes there's little holes in the beveling, because when we bevel these, it shows up like the layers of the, when there's a cut. If you've never like worked with wood, this is boring, but he puts wood putty in those. You would never know it, but it helps seal off any imperfections in the wood on the edges. Okay, but this is the paint that I use. Valspar Ultra White. If you want a screenshot if you're into trying to paint your own signs. And its code, I'm going to zoom in, is 773955. And we use flat interior paint right there. It is by far our favorite. My dad, to get it to work in his spray thing, to spray all the hymns, He does dilute it a little bit with some water so it can go through the gun easier. Probably shouldn't say that word on Facebook. Paint gun, through the paint gun. Okay, what paint? So I always use flat paint to answer Jay's question with so flat paint with paint pens, the Poscas. Okay. Oh, Susie came over to Facebook because everybody was over here. So let's see. So to get my width somewhat even, I go over it too many times. I think that's why mine all look bold, trying to smooth it out. Okay, so yes, go through one pass of just doing like maybe one retrace in the same place. Do one pass, look back at it, and then go back in those little spots versus going back over the whole word, and hopefully that will help. Okay, Jay, polyacrylic. I don't have a picture of that for, do I? No, I don't have a picture of that one. I'm looking back at mine and Daddy's pictures to see if he's ever sent me a picture of it to pick up, but he hasn't. But it's called polyacrylic. It's in a blue can. You can get it at Walmart or Lowe's. It's awesome. Oh, Tracy, I will answer anything. So do I do Bible studies? Well, I do them whenever I'm here and just like get a very, I don't know, spirit-led excitement about it. I would love to do a Bible study. I think that it's so fun. I'm talking with our pastor's wife about doing one at our church. So, but I think that would be more like we walk through a book together. I'm not sure. I get nervous because here's the thing. I think it is a very big responsibility to handle God's word correctly. And I don't want to do that wrong, but I also don't want to let the fear of getting something wrong keep me from sharing. So I share as the Lord leads, but I want to be very, very just careful, because the Bible says that those who teach are held to a standard of making sure that they're dividing God's word correctly and all of that. So when I say I'm nervous, it's not a nervousness of that I don't want to share. I want to share. I want to talk about all the things. I just want to make sure that I do it in a way that is correct and honoring God. So, oh, thank you, Lori. She said, God won't let you get it wrong, though. And you know what? I believe that God is sovereign and that his word doesn't return void and that he will use but just like Dixie just said, there is a spiritual responsibility that comes along with it that I don't take lightly. So anyway, I trust that, like you said, God empowers us and he gives us the ability. So, oh, thank you, Joyce. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. Okay, well, if y'all don't have any other questions, let's see. Yes, Tracy says you are more than able. Well, I agree that God gives us the ability. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Becca said, love when you speak about Jesus. Okay. Well, since I've got just a tad bit more time, I'm going to show this Tombow hard tip at work in the workbook, and then that's how we'll close out. Do you spray the sealer or brush? If I use sealer, I don't always use sealer because if it's going in a house, it doesn't necessarily need to be sealed. But if I were to use sealer, I would brush it off. Okay. Let's see. Do you do one-on-ones? Marilyn asked. I have before, but I actually just don't have the capacity for it anymore. And the reason why is, so Wednesdays are like my day to not have my kids with me, but we homeschool. I've talked about it on here before. I cheat with homeschooling. I have a lady that helps me, and so she's teaching them right now. But she does certain subjects, and I do certain subjects, and so we tag team. But I don't have the ability so that's why that is one of the reasons why I recorded the class. I will tell you, if you take my online class, my goal is to make you feel like you're sitting next to me. I talk to you like you're sitting next to me, and it is as one-on-one as you can get. Other than this is fun too, but it's the the class is just more focused because I'm not talking like this in the class. I am like only talking to you who is watching, and I am lettering and telling you exactly what to do and that sort of thing. Someone says, where can you get the workbook? So you can get the workbook if you, let's say if you commented beginner, you got that link, that is going to take you to my class. So you can either get the class and do the workbook as an add-on. You can do it that way. If you do it that way, you get free shipping on the workbook because you're getting the class and the workbook. But if you just want the workbook, comment workbook, and I will send you that link. Okay, right now, though, I'm going to get back down into it and get a little closer. Let me turn this phone off. Well, I made it so far away earlier for the sign. Let's see. A water-based sealer can smear water-based paint pens. I would probably spray a sealer on. Okay. There you go. Becky says to use spray because there is clear spray too. Teresa says, I have the beginner class and the workbook. The class is great and the workbook is also. Oh, yay. Okay, let me pick. There was one that I had pegged earlier. It was a pretty D. I wanted to talk to y'all about how you could do it as a different way than the D that I did on the sign a while ago. Let's see if I can find it. Come on, that might have been it. No, that's not it. Well, how about I just show it instead? So I'm going to show, this is that Tombow hard tip pen, but I'm going to come around and do like that formation of an A. Let me get closer for y'all. And then Jennifer said she sprays too. Okay, I'm going to come around, down, like that. So see that D? That's in the workbook. I don't want to make y'all watch me find it. But now I'm going to come in, add a downstroke here. So this is that Tombow paint pen. The reason, I wish Tombow made paint pens. This is that Tombow hard tip. And I'm just coming in and adding the thickness. But I love these because they don't bleed and there's a little bit of give on this tip, but it is not a lot. Like it is just enough to make it not feel like a fountain pen, where it's like going to have those digging lines in it. But anyway, Lori says she hasn't had any issue with the polyacrylic smearing when she brushes it on, and it doesn't yellow over time like some sprays. I will say I know that it doesn't yellow. That the polyacrylic is what we use for these, and we love. So what type of wood do I use for my hem boards? Okay, see the backing of it? It is China birch. It's from China. It's from Lowe's. These are from Lowe's, and they start out as we used to get from Lowe's. Now we found a local. So even though it's from China, it's through a local hardware store that orders in bulk for us. So let's see. It's called China birch, though, I think, or white birch. Maybe. I just heard my daddy say, it's all from China. So it's not called China birch. Sorry. Okay. So anyway, that's what it looks like on the back, though. If you want a screenshot, you can look at in your stores for that type. And yeah, that's it. And then I'm going to see what other questions. Do you use the Tombow hard tip for anything other than workbook? Let me think. Gift tags. I've used them for gift tags. Anything where I'm going to do. Oh, I used them on watercolor postcards. Anything that I'm going to handwrite, like not project based, anything. I'm trying to think because I have used it on projects here, but it's been on smaller things and paper, anything paper. So your gift tags, if you're doing something like that, definitely the postcards, just things like that, but not big projects. If that was your question, like nothing that I'm making like I have here today to sell. Yes. So Sandy said great for paper, but not on wood surfaces. Okay. Yeah. Jennifer says all paper lettering. Okay, y'all. This is the end. I am about to run. Felicia, you're so welcome. And anybody else, if you have any questions, if you're on the replay and have questions, then you can definitely drop them in the comments. I had so much fun. You're welcome for the information. And oh, we're changing the time though. So next Wednesday, it won't be at 11 a.m. I'm looking at a Thursday night slot. And I know that some of you can't do nights, so that's a bummer. But I will post. We have until next week. So I'm going to post the time of when I'm going to start going live before next week. So I'm sorry. This 11 o'clock time is going to go to something else that I'm also really excited about. To have some ladies that we're going to learn together and do business stuff together. So I'm very excited about that. But I had to give them this 11 o'clock time slot. So, all right, Sandy, Lori, it's so good to see y'all too. Hey, Leanne, oh, thank you for that. And I will see y'all next week. Bye.